Veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
How about the top or games? But I think week 2, Colorado, of course. You got prime time coming in, and you want to shut him up because if he comes into Lincoln and figures out a way to get a win, you will never hear the end of it. And then I think week 9, Ohio State. Who are we as a football team at that point? But if we go in there and actually compete and give ourselves an opportunity to win, now you got to be talking about us. We got to be in the contention. Week 12, you come back, you're at USC. And then I think week 14 at Iowa. Drop the Iowa game. That's a bad look because that's the last taste that you get in your mouth before the bowl game.
It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios. Here is your host, Derek Pearson. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome to it, TP Live. You can hang out with me, 402-464-5685. Live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, X channel, 961 on Allo. Shout out to Brad Moline, baller. Allo 961 for letting us do what we do, and then do it how we do it. And we have such bigness coming that, like, I think today is the first day I got super excited over football season.
I was there, but I got a lot of excitement for sure, though.
Right? Like, and I'm trying to figure out why it's landing, because I feel like the ticket will be a bigger part of football.
Oh, I'd hope so, right? I think that's the whole point of this, is every year we become bigger with it.
Okay, so I'm going to buckle up, folks. Buckle up. buckle up. Because I'm going to go in a place that I kind of promised myself I wouldn't go. But I think it needs to happen because, okay, so I don't have radio station envy. I don't envy other stations. I'm a coach at heart.
Mm-hmm.
And so I work like, well, we need to do what we need to do. I'm not worried about what everybody else is doing. But I say that with an understanding that I also want my people to receive pats on the back. And I don't always want to have to be the person that does it. Like I've said in full, and I don't care who in Nebraska hears it, and I don't care what they think. We have the best station in Nebraska. period. Point blank, take it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I will line up our talent, our shows, one for one and as a group against anybody. And I love our listeners because we have extremely smart listeners. Like, our listeners get it.
Yeah.
Right? They actually get it. Like, they know that they're a part of the station.
Well, that night, was it last week on Wednesday?
Yeah.
I mean, it felt like we heard from the entire text line.
Right. Like, it.
The entire
And we
community,
heard from people that we didn't normally hear from
Mm-hmm.
because we are a Nebraska station. Now, we're going to cover all sports the way that we should. But all of the money, let me say this as simple as I can say it, all of the money that investors, sponsors, partnerships, businesses, fans, that they spend at the ticket stays in Nebraska. There aren't a lot of other stations who can say that. And what I was told was that Nebraska is about Nebraska,
Mm-hmm.
right? Nebraska first. I still haven't asked the question publicly, but I'll ask it now just for grins and giggles because I'm kind of in that mood. But why are big money spenders putting money into radio stations and media where that money leaves the state?
It's a good question.
I'll repeat that. Because if you tell me, they say buy local. Well, we're local. We're the local. Like, I'm going to say it like Ohio State. We're the ticket FM. We are the.
That's a pretty first statement.
We are the
radio station.
right? Like, we are the radio station, especially when it comes to sports and advertising. Because again, you can walk in here tomorrow, record a commercial at 11 o'clock, have it on at 11:01,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you're already advertising, you can come in tomorrow at 10 a.m., say you want to change the commercial and have
We
to
will help
change
you
the
change
commercial.
it.
Like, we will change the commercial. Like, you can do that. And I challenge you, anybody that advertises in this state, to tell me that you can do that in any other place like us for 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. What if you want to change it on Sunday?
I'll come in at 3 in the morning.
Do-
3 in the morning.
Right? Like,
I'm sure so will Nick and everybody
Right.
else. We gotta get the whole team in here. We'll find a way.
like, seriously, give the Lincoln Day. What other radio station spends an entire day raising money for great cause? Who else does that?
I'm asking myself honestly. I don't think I have seen
Like an all-day
boost.
fundraiser on air radio.
Feel free to text in if you do know of one.
If
But
you know
to
of
my
one,
we'll give them their due credit. But I
I'm
genuinely can't think of one right now.
How many other stations have 3 Hall of Famers?
0 right there. I just think we can probably.
Yeah. how many other stations have 17 student athletes on air?
Unless you count the varsity, which in the end that's not even really fair because it's not like their
They
show.
don't.
It's like a
They
guest
don't.
segment. If
No,
that,
they
yeah.
don't. That have their own shows.
No, then it's 0.
That have
Then
their
we're
own
back
shows.
to 0.
Literally have their own shows.
Mhm. 0.
How many stations for the last 4 years have been giving money to student athletes?
0. That one doesn't take any
Right.
station.
Right. Giving money to student athletes. So I say this. This week was an awards banquet. And it's kind of the accumulation of the season, right? That
Mhm.
that in the broadcast business, that it's a time to acknowledge. Now, I'll ask. I'm trying to understand that. Do you know that this station didn't win one single award this year? That no show or talent was worthy of an award this season?
Yeah, I heard. Obviously we had the staff meeting. What did they grade that off of? Is there? Do we get a list? Because I know we had to write For the, is that the same awards where we're putting that stuff together?
If you ask me what the best shows, the most informative shows, the most serving shows,
Okay, bigger
wide
than the
ranging,
score.
bigger than the score, fitness
Certainly
fanatics, where people are
seems-
changing their lives. Get your happy on with stories of transition, teammates.
Seems like a big deal.
You know, all of those things, and quite frankly, that if you have the number one show in the market, which is Early Break in every facet,
Yeah.
and it being an actual local show with local talent telling local stories on a daily basis,
Mm-hmm.
250 shows a year,
Jake does not miss a show.
250 shows a year,
Incredibly reliable,
right? That
consistent.
right? That they felt, and again, I would assume that somebody votes on this thing. I don't know who votes. I know I've never been asked. But again, how many station owners live in Nebraska? How many people and here's the thing that so the late great John Thompson, coach of Georgetown, used to say, the one thing you have to be careful about is giving exceptional people more motivation. Because that's really the trouble, is that you don't stir the pot. It's kind of like watching Bogdanovich today kind of egg on the Team USA, and you go, you do realize that they got some dudes over there that you probably don't want to upset.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't wake the sleeping bear.
Yep.
Well, if you tell me the ticket is not award worthy, oh, really? Okay. You're going to tell me that me, Jake, Bill Bush, Sipple, Aaron Davis, Amon Green, Chris Rabb, Rashawn Jackson, Hall of Famer Terrell Farley, Jake Bachhoven, Adam Carricker, Steve Taylor, All-American,
Chance of Brewington.
You're telling Jay Foreman, Eric Strickland, Austin Norman, Harrison Arns, the full run of the gamut of talented people who spend hours entertaining, hosting, greasing the wheels and telling the stories of Lincoln, Nebraska. Are you telling me that you want us pissed off? You want us to come after you? You want us, really? That's what you want? Okie dokie. Okay. Challenge accepted. Challenge accepted.
I'm with you.
Listen, I acknowledge. If you told me that, because I was told that nobody wanted to do Supernovas volleyball. Those are champions, Federation champions.
The views would say differently too. I'm just pointing that out right now.
They told
The views said
they
a
told
completely
us
different story.
that, well, it won't last. Like the league won't last. The team won't survive. That's what I was told by people who said they were experts. Media folks who said this will be dead in no time. And I literally stood at CHI Center and said, "You're all wrong. You're all wrong." Well, we've never seen anything like that. Listen, if every time you said, well, I've never seen that before, and that invalidates it, that's on you.
Yeah, you probably missed a lot of opportunities in your life. If that's your mindset of it's like we're not going to try because nobody's done it yet, you probably miss a lot of things that are just made for you that you just ignore because you're scared to do it or nobody's done it yet.
We were told that we couldn't do flagship. We didn't have the coverage. People complained when I first got here. Well, your signal goes out. Okay, we'll get an app. You don't answer the phone lines. Okay, we got a text line.
Mm-hmm. And we got better phones too.
You can text us. Well, we got better. Like we can do that.
We got a new station,
right?
Altogether,
right? Well, sometimes I'm at work and okay, be on your laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm old. Yeah, I got Facebook.
We got you on cable.
Amazon
Prime,
on TV.
You can stream us.
Amazon Prime. You literally can so whatever way you consume this stuff, we're gonna give you a way to consume this conversation as often as possible. And I can tell you what I get around the city and around the state is all pats on the back. And this is why we do it. Like these listeners, when somebody tells me that they're rabid about it, that we keep them company all day. Well, here's the part that's missed. They keep us company all day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, otherwise, I'm just the angry old dude yelling into the abyss, right? And nobody's hearing that really insane sports take you had. And there's nobody to tell the story of the good news. And there's nobody to celebrate when the Huskers win the Big Ten championship. And there's nobody to talk to at the Final Four when the women's volleyball is going there. Like I've been told that we're their family and their friends, and they talk to us like they know us, right? And we talk to them like we know them. We can tell from the text line what their personality is, right? And there's some that we know no matter when they text, no matter what they text, we read it because they're our friend like that.
Yep.
And then there are also those that no matter what they text, we're not reading it because we know that they're that people. Like that's who they are.
Mm-hmm.
But what we both say mutually is the ticket has created, in my mind, a community of sports fans and Nebraskans who hang out. Now, I have friends all over the country who listen in whatever way from wherever they are. Like, I get it like when I go back to D.C., they're listening. I go to Texas, they're listening. I go to Utah, they're listening. Like, I go to California, they're listening. And that's why we do it.
It's cool. I even, and I'll even use this small story. It, it kind of hurt my feelings a little bit too, but it's good for the ticket as a whole. I went up for a wedding not too long ago, and I was amazed about how many people up there. I mentioned I work at the ticket. I'm like, oh, it's really cool. And they'd say they listen. Now, they wouldn't say necessarily all my shows, but even like up in Hartington, Nebraska, which is, right up to the border of South Dakota, I was amazed. It's like, oh, you guys are, a lot of you guys. I mean, at the wedding, I was amazed how much of a trump card and how familiar everybody was familiar with the ticket.
We had, so it was Tuesday, and I'm back in the office, and Luke from the mill, shout out Luke, because he's
Makes
family.
A great cup
like
of
he's
Joe.
He's family,
Yeah.
like Luke's family, and I love the fact that he's here all day, kind of making the place better and making us better. But Luke knocks on my office door, and he goes, I don't mean to interrupt you, but there's some people out here I think you should probably meet. And I trust Luke. So I come out, and it's a couple and then another woman. And they tell me that this woman lives in Seattle. Came into town to visit her two friends who are Husker fans and ticket loyal listeners. And they said that she would text them at 4:00 in the morning, laughing at something that was said on the radio. And they're like, it's 4:00 in the morning. They're like, no, it's 4:00 in Seattle, but in Lincoln it's 6, and I'm listening to Early Break.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hilarious. And I'm like, wait a minute. So you're in Seattle at 4 a.m. listening to Ticket? And she goes, yes. So I send Austin down to the basement. I'm like, go get some shirts. Now, this is after Early Break is over, so they're already gone. But and this is kind of the point of this whole thing, is us being here where people can come in and meet us, see us, hang out with us, have a cup of coffee with us, whatever. And how important it is for us to actually be here rather than stream. There's a huge difference.
Oh yeah.
Because this woman was coming to see the space that she sees on her computer every day.
Mm-hmm.
And she then told jokes. She was like, I just need to tell you, like, Raph's really a giant, isn't he? Like, she wanted to come and look in the window and see Raph sit in a human chair.
It is a sight. It's
right,
worth it.
Right.
You know, you might as well come and see it if you're in town.
We got her a shirt and she hugged me so hard because she goes, wait a minute, you're DP. And I went, yeah, why? And she goes, oh my God, thank you for building this for us. She goes, because you keep me company all day. And I want to say she's 70 years old, right? And she's telling the story and she's hugging me, squeezing me. And I'm going, we don't think about that on a regular basis.
Not enough, for sure.
Right? That to be appreciative of listeners who hang out with us. And how cool is it that we get to have a job where we get to love on people and have people love on us? And so it was fantastic. So I gave her the shirts and she's like, well, I'm definitely coming back for games and I'm coming in. And I'm like, please do. So I gave them shirts and they took 100 pictures and it was, such a big deal. And we forget, we literally forget. And we try to explain to people that I don't care about the people who don't listen to the ticket. I'm not.
Yeah, to each their own is fine.
Okay.
I'm not gonna cry over it.
But the people who do,
take care of them.
Oh my goodness, we can ride.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can ride. And so I listen. I listen to people making award announcements, and I'm just going, okay, Derek, be better. Be better. Don't be affected. Don't be bothered. But then there was that part of me that if you ask me what the best local radio show in Nebraska is, it's not even close. And that's me being really proud of One-on-One, Old School, The Breeze. Like I'm thinking they're all good radio.
Yeah.
But I would be insane to not understand the fan base and the respect that Early Break has created.
Mm-hmm. Takes years of consistency and trust.
Right? And that to not understand that Aaron Davis, Raph, and Amon Green have 3 individual pockets of human beings who love them differently and collectively. That Rashawn Jackson and his network and Farley and the people who are rallying to love him and Bach and his friends and all the, to absolutely respect it and go, to tell me that somebody of expertise looked at that lineup of talent and said nobody was worthy of a pat on the back.
This is where it gets criminal, at least for me. And, obviously strong word to use there, but emotionally, if it's about numbers, then it still makes 0 sense because Early Break's going to be number 1, no question.
Yep.
If it's about
quality, community.
Okay, quality, still number 1. If it's about community, still number 1.
Huh.
If it's about consistency, number 1. Jake will miss a Dolphins game to make sure he doesn't miss Early Break. Jake is as an intern, he was an intern for Jake Sorensen for a year, and Steve Sippold, because I wasn't there when Bill Bush was there, but he's been great as well. 30 minutes early, always on time. It's insane how on time they are. They are never late.
Because they love
ever.
what they do.
And it shows.
They love what they do.
Mm-hmm.
We all do. I mean, listen, Becky and I were talking earlier today, and it's the thing that we were talking about, that I need to change the schedule around so that I get a day off. But I love this. And so it's not really work, but I still need to give myself that just small taste of break, mental shutdown. Not that I'm ever sitting at home not working, but the idea of it is that I just go, okay, something else. So I'm going to have to change an entire schedule of things. And again, I'll put one-on-one up against every show in Nebraska. To tell me that you're having conversations with the Dallas offensive line coach, that you're having conversations with a Canadian Olympian that just a brilliant mind, Everett Gray, brilliant mind, Barry Thompson, brilliant mind. And we haven't even gotten to the point where next year I will tell you that one-on-one will be Mark Manning, Heather Brink, Lance Harvell. And I want to do that but here's the thing. I don't want to do it to get even. I want to do it because the listeners deserve to hear Mark Manning once a week.
Oh, 100%.
Right? You deserve to hear Heather Brink because we've met their athletes.
Mm-hmm.
We know what they're doing with these athletes. We know what Will Bolt's doing with these athletes, right? Like we know how they're raising these young people, right? And so you want to have those conversations and be able to do that. And Fred Hoiberg and any one of their coaches that you can bring in, and they're all exceptional. To give space for Amy Williams, to give space for Rhonda Rovell, to give listen, if you're any football coach.
Yeah. We've had track coaches on there. Shout out to Nico Schultz and Megan Walker. We've had multiple track coaches come into the station.
Right. And yeah, Johnny Holiday, a Hall of Famer in both sports and rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had the full range. From Dr. Jamie Williams that would come on, and Phil McConkey and Mark Bavaro, and having these Brian Mitchell and Gary Clark, and you're having these people on and you go, wow. But our listeners deserve to hear them and get to know them, to get to know these athletes and care, right? You root harder for who you care about.
Yeah, you need to know the narrative.
Right? To know Nuri and go, yeah, he's truly a gentle giant. He really deserves us to cheer louder for him.
Yeah.
To tell Sam Hoiberg's story, right? From the last guy on the bench and the coach's son to being a fan favorite because he out hustles everybody and he's talented.
Mm-hmm.
Right? For them to tell the stories. I mean, Sam Phillips and Savannah Warren, and you just go, wow. Like these are all Americans and they're sharing the story. Like, here's what's going on. And the fact that we're going to get stronger with our student athlete group. I mean, Emma Spence is coming in. We've got 2 bowling shows because we got.
She's on an Olympic team, by the way.
Yeah, she's on the Canadian Olympic team to expand this thing. And I say all that to say this: the real reason why we do it are the listeners. It's not awards. It's not. But I also think our listeners deserve their favorite shows being patted on the back. Like, so for you awards folks, I hope y'all had a great week. Congratulations to the folks that won. Great careers, great shows, cool. Congratulations. 2025. Here we go. We'll be right back.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zip line gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Be a memory for your grandchildren. Among Nebraska adults age 65 or older, 47% report current alcohol use. Drinking too much can cause harm to children, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, you will still be around for your grandchildren. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Played for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Old School with DP and J.
Can Nebraska have a player-led locker room in year 2 under Matt Rule?
I think it could be in year 2. I always say this: we had great captains every year I was here, but I always say some of our best leaders weren't necessarily our captains. So I think when you have that, that's a player-led team. So it doesn't matter how old the quarterback is.
93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
Their age?
the way they speak.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids. First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
You're spending $300 a month. Binge drinking is the most common form of excessive drinking, which costs the United States more than $191 billion each year. By drinking less, you will save $300 a month. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Can you guys just keep a straight face?
Yes. I'm like, yes. But we'll try. Okay.
We're just 3 players talking. Come on, let's try this.
This is how the sugar hill. You're driving to Wichita, writing this down.
You're not helping anything.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to One on One with DP. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, One on One. TP Harrison Orange. We're just chopping it up because through through the days that are, I just find it necessary to remind myself and listeners why we do this. Like, we have cool listeners, and Mississippi Mud Dog, listen. Yeah, you're right. You are one of those, bro. You really are. You are.
Packers fan.
Well, you can't. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect.
That's fair. I
Nobody's perfect.
I like Pete. He's a Cowboys fan.
Nobody's perfect. Yeah, like
I look
Pete-
the other way
yeah.
on that stuff.
Yeah, it's again. I was joking the other day that, yeah, on my station, the Dallas Cowboys are going to be played. And if you had asked me that at any point prior to when it actually happened, I would have said, you have bumped your head.
They would have had to pay you 7 figures.
Oh, ridiculous, copious amounts of money.
Pride was there for it.
Right. Like, look, I'm not having it. I'm not having it, Billy Ho. But then you realize that there are Cowboy fans and there are NFL fans that would love to be able to just follow NFL football on Sunday.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with me. It had nothing to do with me. The reality is a lot of the programming has nothing to do with me. It's about the listener. And if I can have college football on, again, Husker fans are going to focus on the Huskers.
Yeah, makes sense.
So the rest of the day, should I not carry college football? No. Put games on.
Mm-hmm.
It's a vibe. I can tell you that for the first time since I've been here, we're going to carry some Little League football games on Sunday mornings. Lincoln Little League, shout out to Tank Perry and his crew, that they've got 5 or 6 Sunday mornings where, they have games. And I said, for the sake of this, we will absolutely move some things around for you. It won't be every Sunday.
Yeah.
Right? But there's some Sundays that we can go out there. Matter of fact, have Nicole and Jeff go out.
Oh, that'd be great.
Right. Like they're sitting at wherever they play.
See, that's the peak of why local radio is great.
Right.
You get the pulse of the city, and it's my favorite thing to do when you drive into a new town, turn on the local radio, and it gives you the pulse of what's going on in that city right now. And that's why that youth football thing works perfect.
Imagine Bigger Than the Score from Lincoln Little League.
Fits perfectly.
Right. And so to be able to do that, and then to have the student athlete shows, and listen, our pre and post game shows aren't affected because that's priority one.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the days when there's NFL and college football, the local programming will still be streamed just as it is now. So reminder, everybody, download the app. Have the app on your phone and on your computer.
Yeah. Or just have another monitor, especially this beauty about today's era. I mean, DP, I'm sure you got more than one monitor in front of you when you're watching.
Yes.
Everybody does. You can just multiple platforms, avenues.
Yes.
App. Like we said before, you can get us in every avenue possible.
It'll be easy to listen brick and mortar. And so on the website and on the app, there'll be buttons that says, okay, do you want to listen to the NFL? You want to listen to The Breeze? Whatever you choose is what you get. You're in the car, it'll be NFL. If you're in the garage, get the app on your phone, click the app. There you go. You're in your office, make the choice. I'm okay. Like whatever you choose with. Monday Night Football. We're not ending the Monday night shows.
Yeah, I still need to get paid, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. We're
just going home.
Yeah. No, we're gonna have on the brick and mortar, we'll have Monday Night Football. On the app and on the streams, we'll have local programming. It'll be Husker Talk and the whole shebang. Be Chancellor breaking it down. And we'll go through, and that's what it'll be. So through all of this, as it evolves, to tell people that we are going to improve our reach.
Like through brick and mortar, or just like
let's just say that it is my plan and my goal to have other stations in other parts of the state carry us? How's that?
Let me get in contact with Harrington. I know they got a station.
Right. That there are signals available. Because, as I ask stations all over the country, all over the state, what are your ratings at 4:00? How many people are listening to your station? Oh, here's the number. Well, what if I have a show that draws 5 times as many people? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the deal sweetens.
Oh. What if I put shows that include Omaha natives, Eric Strickland, Rashawn Jackson, Amon Green? If I put those in Omaha, you think anybody would listen? And would it be better than anything that's currently in Omaha?
I'm going to show with 2 Omaha natives that are widely renowned in the area. Would you like the shows?
Oh, how many afternoon shows have Husker Hall of Famers on it that you don't have it. You do not.
You want one?
Do you want shows that have, I don't know, former Husker players that just recently played? Yeah. What if we gave you, I don't know, number 82, number 15, assorted others?
How many hours you want?
Yeah. So yeah, we're working on that too. That in providing all of this stuff, that high school football Friday night, some really good games, and Nick released the schedule.
Yep, it'll be Nick and Jay on that again.
for high school games, and that we may do several this year. We may go some other places and do football.
It's cool. I gotta say, it's awesome that we have a guy like Jay Foreman, former NFL player, great NFL player at that, calling high school football here in Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't even imagine if I was playing football down in Harrington, if I had, Russ Hookstein calling my football games.
Right.
That's the equivalent because he's from my town.
Right. Like that part. We laugh.
Hey, Doug with mesothelioma. Not a bad idea. Nebraska Prep Show talk exclusively or predominantly about schools in Class C1 and lower. Small stations will eat that up, and I can attest coming from small station. How you put that together?
I don't know. Council Bluffs, Scotts Bluff. Maybe there's some stations that. Maybe there's some stations. Maybe
I'm serious about Cedar County.
Maybe that's happening. Maybe that's in the works already.
I love it.
Here's a meeting Tuesday. Here's a meeting Tuesday. But that's the thing, to provide as much coverage. And again, we can put all of these things in these places because they don't have the personnel to staff it and be all the places that we can be. And there's the C1 schools deserve coverage as well. But imagine having Amon and Jay and Rashawn and Farley talking about those schools. If we sent those players out, those former Huskers out to those schools to talk to those football teams.
Oh, it'd just be incredible.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, like I'm trying to picture me in high school. If like we had that kind of coverage, not only would we freak out, like I just know how my small town would be. They'd be like, hell.
I know that even 6A in Virginia, that my high school, we had 2 games broadcast on the radio ever.
Ew.
Yeah, it's different now. So we can do that, and that's what we're working on. We'll go to break. We'll close out this hour. We'll be right back.
The Link Grill, Draft, and Crafts is your spot in Southeast Lincoln for great food and drink. They're serving new menu items and a killer craft cocktail menu with your favorite draft beers. You'll love their pizza and new entree options. It's a great place to watch any live events, and they have music bingo every month. They have an aggressive loyalty program that rewards fans with 7% back on all purchases. Home of the Nebraska Power Hour every night from 8 to 9 p.m. Order online at thelnkgrill.com or stop in at 84th and Highway 2 today.
Here's a message for parents. Show your child that education is important in your home. I'm Tim Royers, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Set aside a special area where your child can work on school assignments. Encourage your child to become more responsible by setting personal educational goals. And send your child to school well-fed and rested. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child reach their full potential.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
I think it's just vapor. Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes.
My kid?
My kid
knows it's dangerous. 5.4 million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
The Nebraska State Veterans Homes are here to serve veterans, their spouses, surviving spouses, and Gold Star parents. Join your fellow veterans and their families at one of our homes in Bellevue, Kearney, Norfolk, or Scottsbluff. With a sliding scale to determine your financial contribution, an excellent clinical team, and plenty of fun activities, our homes are the perfect retirement choice. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/homes. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is how we do every day. We be grinding, and if you wanna come and test us,
if you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
this is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you a veteran looking for a new companion animal? A dog, a cat, or maybe something else? The Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs Vets Get Pets program can cover up to $350 of your pet adoption fees. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov/vetsgetpets to learn more about program requirements and how to apply. Want to help support the program? Get your Vets Get Pets specialty license plates from the Nebraska DMV. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You're spending $300 a month. Binge drinking is the most common form of excessive drinking, which costs the United States more than $191 billion each year. By drinking less, you will save $300 a month. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
You're listening to One-on-One with DP, sponsored by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is funny. Harrison Orange and I, we're laughing because you can go back and find when it was first announced that we got the station. And mind you, let's be clear. We were saving the sports radio station.
Yeah.
Right? That, and by that, I'll be clear in saying, if the station was being sold, when it was being sold, the idea was that a country music station was going to buy it, and sports radio would have been done.
Well, we only have 15 of them around the area, so 16.
It's 16
that
country
makes
stations.
sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect.
Nothing
sense.
wrong with country, but there's
Perfect
enough.
sense.
There's
Perfect
enough of
sense. And the fact that there were people working here. I was like, wait a minute, like what happens to them? Because like
You either move on or you
I can't imagine Rico doing country music.
Nah, he's gone. He's not here.
That would have been amazing. Truth be told, Rico doing a country music show. I
just can't even put him in like country boots or anything. There's nothing about that guy that says Western.
You know what we ought to do one of these days is just have each show be themed, and you just do like one, like have early break. Of course, early break would be classic rock.
Yeah.
Like 100%. Old school would be like old school R&B.
Mhm.
All Earth, Wind, and Fire, Commodores.
That'd be good.
Right?
4 to 6.
The drive would be a little bit of everything. You would hear everything from Hootie to Journey, right? Like you would get a little bit like,
when was the funk alive and when did it die? Are those guys the funk?
Who, Hootie? No.
No, not, but like the funk era. I don't know. I know
70s. That's old school.
Okay, that's 70s.
That's certainly old school.
So it was dead by then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not dead. Funk is not dead.
What? To the extent it
Funk is
like-
not dead. That's why Bruno Mars still exists.
All right.
Like those people exist.
I get what you mean.
Lizzo is funk.
But when I listen
She's
to like
not-
70s funk,
Commodores, there aren't bands the way there were.
yeah.
That's the big loss, is that there are no bands like that. Rashawn, that would be hip hop, Omaha hip hop.
Mhm.
Like I think
Farley. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know what Farley's into actually.
Farley's
he's got a
in
white
the, like
palette.
Georgia hip hop. Like,
Oh, okay.
like the Atlanta, that southern hip hop.
Uh-huh.
So that would be all the place. Character, I would imagine, would be all wrestling theme songs the whole hour. Like Character would just rip out.
He'd probably play one every 5 minutes just 'cause he could.
Oh my goodness! You know what? And that needs to be a show. Like I'll pay the licensing rights for Adam Character to just play his favorite intros for an hour.
That would be a fun show.
Yeah,
I'd listen to it.
Yeah.
Just waiting
yeah.
to hear Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, 100%.
You'd have that wrestler in mind waiting. for it.
Haas and I could probably do that too.
Yeah, give me a heads up.
Haas and I
I'd
could
get
do
him
that.
lined up.
Yeah, I think that has to happen. I know this week Haas, he wants us to create like a 6-man tag team. 6-man tag team match. Like how would you do it? And of course mine will be better than his.
We'll make the list. We'll find out.
But I think if we just did intro songs for an hour, it would be incredible radio.
Yeah, it's entertaining. I mean, everybody sat there and just watched when MTV was the thing, at least in my generation.
Yeah.
You just sit there for like 2 hours in the morning.
Yeah, and just
listening to the top 25. Sometimes there's a special top 50, and you go from 50 to 1. Hours go by.
He says Nick would probably play Maroon 5 or something. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Text of the day.
You're not wrong about that at all. Oh, Nick, he's taking losses at night. He's at home minding his own business, and he just all of a sudden he felt like a pinch in his neck. He's like, "Oh, somebody's talking about me on the text line again."
Don't like Maroon 5. That
That's too funny. Oh man,
it is funny when we have people who work at the ticket still getting roasted after hours.
Oh.
When they don't like, yeah, I wonder how many times people have been because I'll get this from the early breakers as we're getting done with the last night. They'll start chiming in, talking nonsense, especially during the NFL season.
Yes,
I don't even have the heart to tell Jake how many nasty Dolphins texts we'll get as it's the nights are winding down.
Oh, and they come in for people who catch the podcast later, and they're just responding like, "This is terrible." This is terrible, Jake. Leave it alone.
Jake's lucky he's got a big buffer on Sundays.
Yeah.
those Dolphins
Well,
play.
now he's got a kid, so that's certainly
That's true. He can focus on something that really
leads
matters.
to yeah, 100% instead of 2 with-run picks in vital situations. All right, I'm out of here until tomorrow. Enjoy your Thursday night and do something wonderful on Friday. Keep listening to The Ticket.